What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, got him. Alright, so I'd like to start off with little jokes for my channel, but today we're gonna be going over the Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett card, and I'm gonna tell y'all who do I think's gonna win these fights, and how do I see it playing out. Now, first off, we're gonna start off with Umar Nurmagomedov versus Deiveson Figueiredo. I think this is a really good fight because you got two really good wrestlers and two really good strikers. So for Umar, he comes from Dagestan and is related to Khabib and Islam. But out of all three of them, out of Khabib, Islam, and Umar, I think Umar's the best striker. Not that I'm saying Islam and Khabib are bad strikers. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say that I think that Umar just has really good striking. You know, he's proved it a lot. Even when his fight, he's lost to Merab. He proven he had good striking. He caught Merab a few times during that fight. He's proven that he's really good. That he has really good striking. And as for Deiveson Figueiredo was a jiu-jitsu black belt. And the way I see this going Davison's way. Like, let's say, like, I see it either going Davison's way, like, let's say goes just outworks him. Like, let's say he just works on footwork and then Umar can barely hit him on the ground, on the feet, and then on the ground he just outmasters him. That I can see it playing like that. I can see Umar outmastering him with the striking and defending his takedowns. And there's one more way. I see this, you know, going split decision. Like, Deiveson takes it, Umar takes it, and then just to see who wins. I see this going either way. But the main way I would see this is going by split, because I just think this is going by split decision. This is a really good fight. Now, who do I got winning this fight? I'm going to be honest, I think Deiveson can beat Umar. And here's my, like I said, he's a jiu-jitsu black belt. Not that, like, it really, not that, like, you could be a jiu-jitsu black belt and still lose. I'm just saying, he's proven he has good striking. And and the majority of the time he trains to defend takedowns. So, if he's training for, like, let's say he gets his boxing up during the fight, and it's sharpened, and then let's say Umar doesn't know what to do and goes for a takedown, like, let's say, and he's able to defend it. If he's able to defend it, I feel like he would beat Umar. But, like, the way I think Umar will beat him, like I said, him outmastering him on the feet. And if he goes for a takedown, let's say Umar wobbles Deiveson. So if he does that and he goes for a takedown, and, like, let's say he just moves it and moves it around, and, like, he defends it, like, you know how when you're wrestling and you move to the other side so you won't get on the floor, and they can be on, and you can be on the top, so they won't be on the top, like that. And I can just see him. I can see this being finished, like, mainly submission. I think a submission, maybe a knockout if Umar catches him off guard. I think that would be like I'm not saying, like, Deiveson can't knock Umar. I'm just saying, like, I think Umar will have the chance, like, the most possibility to knock Deiveson out. But if Deiveson does, let's say, gets a clean knockout, then he'll probably be next for the title shot. Now that Peter Yan's world champion. And Deiveson had already fought Peter Yan in the past, which in my opinion was a really good fight. I think they both fought their hardest on that fight. And the thing is about it that one thing, if Deiveson's just going ahead and not go for a takedown, because I feel like him striking with Umar the entire time is not a good game plan. Not that I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm just saying Umar has showed he has really good striking. So if you're not gonna land a takedown, let's say he wobbles you, and you're just not trying to stand on him, so that's a bad idea. You can get knocked out like that. But let's say if Umar just keeps going for takedowns and doesn't really work on his striking, then Deiveson will probably realize that, since he's a jiu-jitsu black belt, and he knows that he's good at defending takedowns too. He might just be able to either defend it, or even if you get him on the ground, like, let's go for a guillotine choke. Because majority of the times sometimes when people fall on the ground, like when they're about to fall, when they get taken down, they like to just go for a guillotine choke. But so my final thoughts about this, I think Deiveson Figueiredo has this by split decision. I think it's going by split. But either way, it can go either. I feel like this fight can go either way. That's why I like the idea of it. The UFC knows what they're doing for this. Next up is Arnold Allen versus Gene Silva. Now, I'm gonna just say this. Arnold Allen hasn't fought since. So I don't even know. I don't even remember the date, but in 2024 when he fought Giga, which was a really good fight. It was already coming off a 2-loss losing streak to Max Holloway and Movsar. Movsar, and which were pretty good fights too. I get there's being rumors about like the UFC just hates Arnold Allen, but like you can't really say that if you don't know what happened. Who knows? He could have been looking for an opponent for Gene Silva, and he just called UFC and said he'll take it. You just never know. He could have just called the UFC and was like, I'll take the fight. You never know, but from what the rumors are, like he hates him. I don't think he hates Arnold Allen, because when Arnold Allen knocked out Dan Hooker first round, even though people have done that before, it was just crazy the way he did it though. And then he did knock out Calvin Kattar. He knocked out Calvin Kattar, which Calvin Kattar, I'm pretty sure y'all don't know, but Calvin Kattar is from where I'm from. Not the same place. We're from Massachusetts. I'm from Worcester. He's from somewhere else. I just forgot. But he's fought in like good fighters. He fought Gilbert Maldinas. Even though Gilbert was probably not like that was like not his prime age, but like he was still pretty good at that time. Cause like you can't be like when people say when you're not in your prime, that doesn't mean you're not good no more. It just means you're not as good as what you once was when you were younger in your prime. You're gonna fight different. But I see this going Arnold Allen's way too, depending on what Arnold Allen does. I don't know what he's been doing this entire year to be honest. The only guess I can really say is just him training. Only guess I can really say. I don't really know what else he would possibly be doing that he didn't fight at all this year. And I know Gene Silva's coming off that loss to Diego Lopez at UFC Noche. To be honest, I figured Diego Lopez was gonna win, and it showed. That first round, it was a pretty good fight. I scored it, Diego winning. That second round, Gene Silva just came in there beating him. But the thing is, the way he did it, he was going there really aggressively, and doing that can lead you getting knocked out. And then that's what happened. Diego threw that spinning elbow, dropped him, and then punched him until the referee just pulled him off. I feel like if I don't know, but if like let's say Gene Silva is gonna tries to go for like just trying some brawls him, and let's say Arnold Allen worked on that during training camp, Arnold Allen will be able to know what to do if he trained for that. That's if he knows what to do in that situation, and if he trained for that. Because like there's certain people don't train for stuff in their training camps, and then it happens because they don't think it's gonna happen, and it happens, and they're like, "Oh no, what do I do? What do I do now? Now that this is actually happening, I never expected it to happen." But if Arnold, I can see this going either way. This is like another 50-50 fight. I don't think it's obvious Gene Silva's gonna win, but I do think it's gonna be but I feel like it's obvious it's going to be a good fight. I think Arnold Allen can possibly pull this off, because anything is possible, especially in the UFC. So Arnold Allen could pull that off. So I see this playing. I'm gonna be honest. I see this probably going by knockout, maybe either knockout, decision. Who knows? But the thing is, I see is either a knockout or submission. Either one of those two. So for my final predictions, I think Gene Silva is winning this fight by guillotine choke third round. That's what I'm thinking. And the only reason why I think Gene Silva is gonna win just because I just like the way he fights. He fights really good. Now moving on to Waldo Cortes Acosta versus Derek Lewis. Now this fight is gonna be amazing. You got two knockout artists, and as you may know, Derek Lewis is known for having the most knockouts in the UFC. And I'm gonna just tell you this right now: this is not going by decision unless Derek Lewis gets injured, like how he did with Francis Ngannou, and it goes by decision. Unless something like that happens, or like let's say, but like one of them got injured and they couldn't fight the way they usually fight. And that's probably the only way I'll probably go by decision because Derek Lewis is gonna try and knock you out. Cause like when Derek Lewis fought Alexander Volkov, he was already getting beat and he was already getting tired. But then he just finished in perfect timing. But as you may know, if you know, Waldo's coming off a two-win winning streak after losing to Sergey Pachulev in China by unanimous decision. He fought Ante Dillashaw, knocked him out, even though he got eye poked. I thought it was. So it looked like everyone thought it was over, but apparently they were just seeing. Apparently they saw the instant replay. Referee was like, no, we're gonna check the eye because you poked him. And then when he came back and fought him, he just knocked him out. And then he took the short notice because Sergey Spivak was supposed to fight. I think his name is Shamil. Don't really know how to pronounce that exactly. And took the short notice and knocked him first round. Last two wins by knockout. And they're both, if I'm not mistaken, they're both on two-win winning streaks right now. If I'm not mistaken, I just gotta recheck, but I don't see it as going by decision. If it does, I have a high doubt there. I have like a high doubt Derek Lewis will win a decision. Even though he beat Francis Ngannou, but to be honest, it wasn't really that good of a fight. It would have been different if it was like a close fight, but if I see it going by decision, I think Waldo has a chance on winning that. But my final predictions are Derek Lewis by knockout. Because this is Derek Lewis. Not that I think, like I said, I feel like this whole main card is kind of like 50-50 in my opinion. That's why it's so difficult to choose. But I go with Derek Lewis because I just like the way. I think catches him in the right time and knocks him. Then yeah, we win. But let's say if it goes like the third round, maybe he could probably pull it off. Because that's probably like the times he gets tired because. If you know, his stamina is not really that good. From what I realized, though, that a lot of knockout artists probably don't last long. If they don't knock you by like let's say if it's 5 rounds, if they don't get you by the 4th round, they be gassed out, and then they just have a chance on winning. Majority of them. There's some that don't get gassed out, but I feel like another reason why is because like. They're knockout artists. A lot of knockout artists don't know how to wrestle like Ilia Topuria does, though. I claim him more like a knockout artist than like a boxer type style. Even though that's his style, but I feel like he's more of a knockout artist than like how Max Holloway is. But my final predictions: Derek Lewis knockout, first or second round. I don't know if he'll be able to go the 3rd round, maybe, but I feel like he'll be gassed out by that time. Now we're moving on to Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong. Now, this is a good chance for Sean because Sean O'Malley, as you may know, was on a 2-loss streak to the same person, Merab, twice. First one, he just got tired due to that wrestling, which gassed out, and Merab just beat him for 5 rounds. And so when he got tired, he just beat him for the rest of the time. And lost his belt. Then got the title shot, which I feel like he shouldn't not have got that title shot. Because he didn't even fight after he lost to Merab that first time. So I didn't think he deserved it. But from what I realized that if you were ever a champion, I feel like they're always gonna give you that opportunity to become to become more champion again, even if you don't deserve the title shot. They're probably going to do that because you've been world champion. You've been world champion. And Song Yadong, he's coming off a win against Henry Cejudo, even though it was due to the eye poking and stuff. Due to he won by unanimous decision, but it was also that the eye poke that Cejudo got too. Before that, lost to Peter Yan. He got brutally beat from Peter Yan. But how I see this going, I know like Song said he's gonna be doing judo. He's been training judo with J Flow Judo, if I'm even saying his name correctly. But I don't think, I feel like he might get the takedown, but he's not going. I feel like he's not gonna be going for takedowns like that. Yeah, Marab did that, but that's Marab. That's the machine. And if you look back when his fight with Aljamain Sterling only landed one takedown out of that whole fight. He couldn't even land takedowns like that. So Song's will have to just train for all that just to get him. And since Sean O'Malley now knows, because you said you're gonna do judo, he's probably gonna train for that. So you have a hard time getting him on the ground. And because since you brought that out, because like what I would do if someone says they're gonna do something, I'm gonna train for that so I can be prepared for that. So I'm thinking that's what I think Sean O'Malley should do, since Song Yadong say he's gonna do judo on him. He should probably train for judo, send some people who are good, maybe wrestle, like maybe just grapplers and stuff like that, from maybe from Dagestan or something like that. And he'll probably be good, and he won't have to worry about being taken down. Well, that's if he gets taken down. I see this going. I can see Song Yadong pulling it off. Maybe not knocking him out, even though I know like Cheeto did that before. But I don't see like I see Sean knocking him, because like I think what Song needs to work on is not trying to make so much mistakes, because one mistake that you make fighting Sean and you're gonna get knocked out, you're gonna be put to sleep, and you're gonna be like, oh, what the heck just happened? Because like that's what happened with Sterling. Sterling threw a punch thinking that he was gonna hit Sean, but think about it. Though his reflexes are so good that he can literally just catch a fly with his hand really fast. And you trying to pull something like that off on him, like pull this off on Sean. And the fact is, you were open, so he's gonna be like, and then you saw he hit him with that straight, and he went to the ground. He got dropped, and then Sean O'Malley punched him a few times on the ground until the referee pulled him off. So like Song's got to work on not making a mistake, and like, well, at least if you make a mistake, try and fix it right away. Cause if you don't fix it right away, and Sean sees that, he's gonna go for a knockdown, and he's gonna go for he's gonna try and knock you out. He's gonna throw a punch that will knock you out, and you'll be sent to the ground, and most possibly maybe put to sleep. So my final prediction for this fight, I see it going Sean's way, knockout. I say maybe like in the second, third round. Maybe you can get the first round. I see Sean knocking Song Yadong out. Now next up, we move on to our co-main event: Kayla Henderson versus Amanda Nunes. Yes, you guys probably already know Amanda Nunes is making a return after a 2.5, if I'm not mistaken, a 2.5 year retirement. Well, it's been 2 years since she fought. Her last fight was in 2023. She even said that the main reason why I retired was because I had wiped out both my divisions, which was true. Nobody was beating her. She was beating everybody. Holly Holm, Valentina Shevchenko, Ronda Rousey. Not even Ronda Rousey could have beat her. She was beating everybody. Yeah, that whole Juliana Pena fight happened. She got submitted, but you guys got to think about that. I'm pretty sure she didn't take her serious, because if you check the second fight, you see that she took that serious. The first fight, I feel like she didn't took that serious. She probably wasn't training hard because, like, she didn't take Juliana Pena serious. Because think about it. Someone like Juliana Pena, she don't even know how to strike like that. You saw her fight with Kayla Henderson. She was like this, getting punch, punch, punch. Didn't even throw a punch. And then just went for a takedown. Like, if you want to be in the UFC, you're gonna have to learn how to strike. Because if you're just like this in your stance, don't even throw a punch. Like, what's the hope when you just wait for a takedown? Like, you're rather off doing grappling matches or something like that. You're rather off doing that, cause you're gonna have to learn. Cause a lot of people in the UFC, they know how to strike. That's why Ben Askren left so early, cause he thought that he can do, like what he did in the ONE FC, he can do in the UFC. But what you don't realize, that the ONE FC and the UFC is different. There's different rules. Once you're at the UFC, you're at the top of the food chain. Basically, the top of the food chain, kind of like that. And he ended up losing. He ended up the only win he ever had was against Robbie Lawler. And to be honest, that was a mistake, because Herb Dean thought that he was asleep, because when he picked up his hand flopped down. So he just thought he was asleep. But when Robbie Lawler came up, he's like, what? And he's like, oh, my bad. Then he got knocked out from Curry Masvidal 5 seconds, quickest knockout in the UFC, and then lost to Mia. I forgot his name, but he got choked out from him. Then came to boxing and fought Jake Paul and got knocked out. But I think, from what I think is that from what I think this fight goes out, I can see it going, like, I can see this being one of the best fights in women's UFC and women's MMA history. Cause Kayla Anderson, I know she's had 3 appearances. I think, if I'm not mistaken, she's a former PFL world champion. Really good at judo, really good at striking. I see this going Kayla Henderson's way, and I can see this going Amanda Nunes' way. I can even see this not going by decision too, because of how good these two fighters are. I can see Kayla going for a submission and submitting Amanda. I can see Amanda submitting her. I can even see this going on a knockout too, because anything can happen. But my final predictions are Amanda Nunes decision. I'm gonna say decision. Even though, to be honest, I just say it just because I don't really care. Knockout, decision, submission. As long as the person I want to win wins, I'm happy with it. Unless if it was a robbery. That's the only way I wouldn't be happy, if it's a robbery. Now for the main event. Paddy Pimblett versus Justin Gaethje. Well, no, scratch that. Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett. Because on the thing it says Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett. But to be honest, not that I'm not saying that this isn't deserved. Like, I know Gaethje, from what he's done in the sport, is why he's getting the shot. But like, I feel like it should be on Marn. And think about it. He may have missed weight from when he first fought to fight Islam, and his back had a back injury too. To be honest, because when you have back injuries, majority of the time you're not going be in the weight that you're supposed to be due to your back. I just don't know. That's just how it works. And Dana White says, I don't care what the number says. I feel like that is straight cap, because think about it. If you don't care what the number says, you would have never had Alexandra Pantoja fight Joshua Van. You would have not had Sean O'Malley rematch Merab if they were the number 1 contender. You would have had these fighters fight any of these world champions, if they weren't the number 1 contender. So saying you don't care what the number says is just like, what? I'm like, yeah, you do. You've done that way before many times. Don't care what the number says. I feel like Dana White just personally hates Marn. Because I think it's just the whole I feel like there's no reason to hate Marn. But the main reason, it's either that fight with Charles Oliveira where he thought he won, or it's either that whole what happened when he was supposed to fight Islam, then had to pull out due to him missing weight. It's either one of those two. Those are either one of those two, because that's the #1 contender. You're saying you don't care what the number says. And that kind of makes no sense. I'm like, okay, so if you don't care what the number says, you would have somebody, let's say, ranked 15 fight for a world title then. Is that what you're saying? Because if you're saying you don't care what the number says, you'll have somebody from the top 15 fight for a world title then. If you really don't care what the number says. I feel like it should be either Amar or Paddy or Gaethje versus Paddy, but not that I'm gonna say this. Not that I'm saying like Justin doesn't deserve it, but he's coming off a win against Rafael Fiziev. Even though I know like that was still a good fight, but think about it. That wasn't like. But think about it. Rafael took the short notice because he was supposed to fight Dan Hooker. I can see if Dan Hooker didn't pull out and you beat him in a good way, and then yeah, but before that you got knocked out from Max Holloway because you got gassed out. And I think before that Max Holloway fight, you fought fought Dustin and knocked him out. But either way, you've gotten knocked. You got knocked from Max and then came off winning his physique. Now he's gonna get an interim title shot. But I could say one thing. Like I feel like he don't like. I'm saying like. I'm saying not that I'm saying he don't deserve it, but I feel like the main reason they're giving it to him because of what he's done in the sport. I feel like that's the main reason. Not that I'm saying it again. Not that I'm saying he don't deserve the title shot. I'm just saying, I think, personally, I would rather see Amar versus Paddy. Even though this is another good fight, but I'm just thinking who I think deserves it. Because I'm pretty sure Paddy does after that Michael Chandler win, but like, even though they both fought Michael Chandler, but I'm just saying, like I said for like the millionth time, that I think Amar versus Paddy would be reasonable. And the fact is, not even the BMF title's on the line. So who you really have for Amar to fight? The only I feel like because not either fight Bernat, because Bernat's gonna fight Dan Hooker, but I think the most reasonable fight if Amar wants to fight for the first quarter of the year would be rematch Matthias Gamrot. Because think about it, you fought Matthias, beat him for those 2 rounds. Then it started getting close for those last 3 rounds. But then when the judges scored it, you lost. To be honest, I feel like Amar won that. I think he did enough to win that fight. But like I said, from when the judges scored it, they just scored it Matthias. So I think in my opinion, the best option for Amar, just rematch Matthias Gamrot. If you want to fight for the first quarter of the year. If you want to, for the first quarter of the year, just want to chill, do that, then just do that. But if you want to fight for the first quarter of the year, my best option for him is just to rematch Matthias Gamrot. Even though Matthias, you guys gonna be like, oh, but Matthias just lost recently. Why would he want it? Why would you give him a #1 spot? To be honest, he took the short notice. And either way, that was so obvious because his main thing is wrestling. And fighting Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira, in my opinion, is a better wrestler than him. So, of course, I'm pretty sure it was mad obvious he was going to win. And so for my final prediction for this, even though I just said I think it should be Amar and Paddy, I think Gaethje can pull this off because Gaethje can still win the fight. I'm just saying I feel like it should be like someone like Amar, for example, because like he's the #1 contender. And I think Gaethje's gonna probably knock him. Maybe I'm predicting the 4th round knockdown for Gaethje. But one thing that Gaethje does, because he said that I don't want to fight Amar, I don't want to train him with Amar. Not that I'm saying he ain't no good training partner, but I don't want to train with future opponents I might have in the future. To be honest, I'm gonna be honest. I would take that, even if it's a future opponent, because you can also learn from them, and then you would have the ability to what do you call it to learn what they do, and especially if you want if Paddy's a wrestler, that would be the best person for you. It's either that or send someone like Islam or something. Send somebody who's really good at wrestling, because you're gonna need it if you're gonna fight Paddy, because that's what Paddy's really good at, wrestling. But my final predictions for this is Justin Gaethje by knockout 4th round. But like I said, if Paddy can submit him and Gaethje can't get out, he's probably gonna tap. But if y'all heard, the winner of this fight will fight Ilya. If Gaethje wins this against Paddy, I don't think he's gonna beat him, because you've already got knocked out from Max Holloway, and Max Holloway got knocked out from Ilya Topuria. So imagine you got knocked out from Max Holloway, but then Max Holloway fought Ilya, he got knocked out clean. So like you're gonna have to like do a lot of, like, not like dirty stuff, like hit below the belt. Like, you're good at dirty like your boxing style, but you're also good at dirty boxing to do if Justin Gaethje wins it, he's gonna face Ilya. And another reason why I think he's gonna win, because like he likes to punch in close. That is the worst thing you want to do when you're fighting someone like Ilya Topuria. You want your distance from Ilya. You want to not for him to be able to touch you, basically. Even though he probably is gonna hit you, but like you want him not to hit you as much as you don't as much. But yeah, that's gonna be my final predictions. This is the end of the video. If you guys enjoy content like this, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one.